Aaron Bastani of Novara Media. Would we be pals? I'm not sure. Quote, but he is marvelous. Quote, this is Novara Media. We are committed to challenging the elites, and we are hiring. We are looking for the top people. Come, join us. Ash Sarkars don't grow on trees, end quote. On I went, and I laughed. And I laughed. Did you get the joke? Okay. Aaron and Michael Walker and Ash Sarkar are really bright people. The evidence of this is very obvious. They are successful. They're on the internet, the YouTube. They are well educated and well read, and they want you to know it. And they talk to more top people. The one the other day was Helmut Bregman of Davos fame. Many books written now, telling the tale that is music to Novara ears. The future will be created by small groups of top people, empowered and permitted by the now moribund and doctrine-choked left. So, Aaron, top person, what is an elite? And how are you challenging it, dear? At all? Or are you just creating the right elite? I'm not angry, just laughing. Another one bites the dust. I imagine that after the confusions of their schooling, where the evidence of their topness emerged, these intrepid three, the selection of friends and colleagues grew and grew in importance. A group of friends who reflect your topness, agree to its toppery, speak Topperianism. An elite. Every now and again, the James O'Brien show on LBC, a very bright person will call in. An accident, qualifications are not paraded. James might or might not laud the caller for their comment, often, unfortunately, because James either agrees with them or disagrees with them. The caller is affirming what he already thinks. It's not so much the obvious narcissism in all of us that will get exposed, will reveal itself when we are hauled out in front of the bright light of day on talky pictures platforms that becomes amusing. It is just disappointing that some really shit stuff gets said. Silly. Topness is our currency. We are steered into the company of the top as we climb the ladders of career and aspiration. I remember this happening to me. And then quite suddenly we turned around at the cocktail party or the gala ball and we realized, God, it's boring. We realize we do not differ in our shocking supremacist world ideas. We're all Nazis, culturally, huddling smug in our special group among our fellow toppers and being, if we are at all aware and sensitive, bored. Oh, this is Yale discussion on anti-Semitism. Lots of top people comments turned off. At the beginning of capitalism, choose where and when, there's a lot to choose from, but as it took hold, it was a response to feudalism. A reaction to feudalism. All men are created equal, oh my God. Or its beginning was just a coincidence as feudalism was falling apart, or the American Revolution, which was not really a revolution so much as an inevitability, a new country on a new continent far away over the ocean, weeks by sail, getting independence and at the same time incorporating some of the dogmas of the day, the Enlightenment, to pretend to be something new. The division of a new land had to be done somehow without a landed gentry to possess it. A revolution. So, a language and a body of text is made up with many a flourish that really organized how to expand the feudal land owners, feudal land ownership to them not descended feudally. That's the revolution. Then create a committee of these new aristocrats. That is a constitution. The capitalist world's first baby was the US, and it served to smooth the transition from feudalism to capitalism while changing very little for the massive relied upon cheap labor force that had been us since the agricultural revolution. Had there been a change, a real one, on what the Peasants' Rebellion actually dared to do, to demand in 1381, somebody would have said to the railroad builders, the cotton pickers, the tobacco curers, the laborers of the world, let's share the profits. Didn't happen, did it? Because we don't believe in the equalness of people. We developed the sciences of decoding who was where on the ladder of worth, while grimly ignoring the concept of worth, which would have stood the pyramid on its fucking head. The one who contributes the least would get the least. Today's venture capitalist or private equity manager would be the least. Don't worry, you'll inherit the earth. Is there an instance of a capitalist saying to his or her employees, work hard and we'll share the profits? I don't know. I wasn't there. Anyone? I'm all ears. Without this evidence, my conclusion is that the tradition of feudalism, the assumption that some people are better than others, that there are at least two subsects of the humans, slid without objection from holy bloodlines to meritocracy to novara media. How the designation is arrived at really doesn't matter. It is the club that counts, not who is allowed to join. Or the liberal idea that joining the 1% should be possible for anyone, rah-rah, still leaves you with the 1%. Most of our minds, toxically washed by our religions. A choice, ultimately, too many lapsed to say you are trapped in cults, are feudal. In my experience, meritocracy is meaningless. There is a sliver of difference that might justify one person being paid twice what another is, and even I would be fine with that as a maximum, except I'll not be drawn into the meaningless arguments around the usefulness or uselessness or validity of wealth. Ultimately, there is a bug in our psyche that compels us to value or identify ourselves against other, and there's nothing in our culture that mitigates against that bug taking over our psyches. The underlying assumption of Gaza and the founding of the United States is one: we are better than the native peoples. It is probably provable that the peoples of both Israel and the United States are competitive with each other, but they both monolithically, as a whole, believe they are inherently better than anyone else. To the people who hate anti-Semitism, and I probably do if I knew what it was beyond a Christian cult, Christians are, after all, in their own minds, better than the rest, but as a white man, I know I am hated, and I know why. And I know there is cause, and as far as I can, I'm trying to redress, atone, and most importantly, admit. If the Judeo-Christian claim is that we are civilized, Netanyahu's claim, you'd have to define what that means. By my definitions, plural, you lie. If terrorism, the term coined by colonial powers, is uncivilized, what were the Sicarii? What is Deuteronomy? It was the civilized Belgians, Germans, Brits, and French who have committed the world's genocides. If the term makes you uneasy, let's call it systemic killing of civilians in the Congo, Namibia, Algeria, before their famouser homegrown murders. As with the values of feudalism sliding untrammeled into the values of capitalism, I think the Western Judeo-Christian civilization should be brave enough to admit two world record acts of civilian murder. Let's be really clear. The sensitivity around anti-Semitism is no different than the sensitivity to anti-American